On this episode...
Danny's got something stuck in his mouth, apparently. What's going on, mister? He came here for the first time when he was 8 weeks old and was put on a ventilator. Hey, sweetie. Danny's just a baby and it's cruel that he has to go through something like this again. I took an x-ray of his larynx. You won't believe what I'm going to tell you.
When he first came in, he was really, really sick.
Open up. Good boy. You do look at them and just think they're so vulnerable, like this kitten would still be with his mum.
How's he going?
So he has a bit of a cat flu. He's missing a fair bit of fur and he's very underweight. I need a lot of TLC to get him back on track.
But first...
The moment I saw her, I knew there was something wrong with her paws. She certainly can't exercise as a normal dog, she can't get upstairs.
It's quite an extreme case.
I think you'd probably get to a point where she wouldn't be able to function at all, and you'd probably have to look at putting her to sleep.
All right, let's go. She's going to need some major surgery.
God, she's been through a lot. I think that's why I cried, because I just thought, oh, what have I done? Oh no. Come on, Rosie. Good girl, good girl, good girl. I was sitting one day in a waiting room and happened to be flicking through one of the papers, and I saw this little ad regarding a little golden retriever needing a home. Rosie, come on. And the moment I saw her, I kind of just connected with her straight away, but I knew there was something wrong with her paws. I wasn't sure whether it was trauma or maybe a congenital thing. The owner at that time told me he hadn't fed her properly, and so I was perhaps wondering whether it might be rickets. You gonna sit, girl? You're gonna go for a waddle. She's a very outgoing little dog. She's very affectionate, very much wants to please. Rosie, good girl, come on. I think it was a case of love at first sight. She chose me and I chose her. Good girl. Come on, Rosie. In terms of Rosie's future, she certainly can't exercise as a normal dog. She can't get upstairs. You're getting tired. Come on. The problem with her paws has deteriorated. I can see that she's finding it more difficult to walk on those paws. I just think those things are going to get worse. That's lovely. The options might have been maybe to have her put down. Having spoken to Bondi Junction Clinic, because she's a young dog, there may well be something that could be done for her. Bondi Vet advised that we would need for her to see a specialist, and that until we did that, we wouldn't be able to exactly know what the outcomes might be or what the options might be. Good girl. I don't have a lot of money at the moment, but she wants to live, I know that. So I'm determined to do what I can for her. We've got to keep Rosie now, whatever it takes. Rosie, good girl. Nice to meet you, Andrew.
Nice to meet you. Come on in.
Okay, sure. And this is Rosie.
Look at those legs. Come on, let's have a look at you.
Good girl, come on. Thank you, Andrew. I mean, I've had it for 3 weeks, and it's amazing how quickly you can become attached to an animal.
Has she seemed painful to you at all?
Not obviously so, but I don't think she's entirely comfortable. She certainly finds it difficult getting up and down stairs, and she also finds it difficult just to sit. She basically has to lie down very quickly.
We'll have to take some x-rays so that we can have a look and see what exactly has gone on. But, without thinking about it too much, she's going to need some major surgery.
Yes.
To straighten out her legs.
When I first brought Rosie into Sash, I knew that she would need some sort of treatment. I wasn't necessarily aware of the fact that it was going to be major surgical intervention. I had thought that she might be able to have her paws splintered and that they may improve that way. So I guess it is rather a shock to know that the only real option for her is to have major surgery.
Also, we may have to grow her legs for her, because the growth plates, whilst they've been damaged and have caused her legs to go like that, they've also probably been damaged so that they're not going to grow properly as well from here on in.
Right.
It's serious in the sense that I think it's life-threatening if it goes on for much longer. She won't be able to walk around, she'll be in chronic pain, and from an ethical point of view, you just wouldn't be able to keep her alive. What you're going to find with her is we'll end up essentially breaking a leg or cutting it, a bone, which will allow us to sort of gradually straighten it out and lengthen it. But as I say, we'll take some x-rays and we'll see. Looking at it, it doesn't look like she's actually had any trauma. But what it does look like is that she's had bone disease, if you like, that young dogs can get called hypertrophic osteodystrophy. Basically, what that does is they get some inflammation and pain around the growth plates where the length growth comes from in a dog. Generally with those dogs, all that happens is they get pain, you treat that, give them pain relief, the problem goes away and they go on and live a normal life. Very occasionally it damages the growth plates and causes them to grow abnormally, and you get this deviation that we see with Rosie. She's just unlucky enough that it's happened in both of her front legs. It's actually damaged her growth plates in such a way that it's caused her to go all bendy.
Okay.
So what we're going to have to do, I think, is straighten them out gradually by putting a frame, an external fixed turret called, on her, and then just gradually straightening her out and then growing them a little bit for her. The most important thing, to be honest, is getting them straight. If she's legs are slightly short, she can deal with that. She'll look a bit funny, but she'll be able to run around and do all those normal things without that causing any pain to her joints.
Mm-hmm. If Rosie doesn't have this operation, I mean, what's her outcome?
Well, unfortunately, I think she's likely to get worse. And I think you'd probably get to a point where she wouldn't be able to function at all, and you'd probably have to look at putting her to sleep.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that might be the case.
Yeah, so and it's one of those situations where you've got it's a tough decision.
I have a choice. I guess I can have her euthanized, but having met Rosie and having taken her into the family now, yeah, I have no choice but to go ahead with the surgery to give her a good quality of life.
The good side about all this is there was something we can do. The downside is that it can be quite expensive, and I think your $100 dog is going to turn into something a little bit more than that.
Rosie cost $100 to buy, but this could cost thousands and thousands of dollars in the long run. How am I going to get the money together for this operation? A very, very good question, but I'm going to have to talk to family and friends. I'm going to have to go into debt. You know, it's a lifetime commitment taking on an animal, and it's something now that I feel I have to take some responsibility for.
Rosie, hey!
It's quite an extreme case. In a month or so, she wouldn't have a life because she just wouldn't be able to walk around. This surgery will be life-changing for her. All right, let's go. When I'm actually breaking her leg or cutting the bone, that's got to be just right. What we're going to do is we've got to take a little piece of the ulna out, which will allow us to correct the angular deformity in the leg, so correct the bendiness. If you were a human, you'd be in hospital for weeks after this. So it's very major surgery, especially for a young dog. So we're just about to put the frame on the bone, place it on there, put the pins across it, and that'll keep it nice and solid. And then once we've done that, we'll make the cut in the bone. In a couple of days' time, we'll start winding this, and so that will take that angle of that ring from there, like that, and that will also change the angle of the leg from that to that. So eventually this ring will become parallel to this ring, and once we've done that, we'll know that her leg is straight again, and then we'll be able to take the frame off. That alignment's pretty good, so that's about right height-wise, so drop it a bit. Very fiddly work, yeah, but you can overdo it. You sort of become obsessed with making it look perfect, and it's just not going to happen. I've learnt that. I'm not perfect. Now what I'm going to do is break this radius so that we'll be able to straighten the leg out gradually over the next couple of weeks. So we've just done the osteotomy, or broken the main bone in the forearm, which is called the radius. And that's the bone that's got the deviation in it. It's the weight-bearing bone. 3.5 hours later, and it's gone very well. I mean, this part of it's finished, absolutely, but we'll take some x-rays and see how it looks on those.
Good.
No, I'm very pleased with it. Oh, you poor thing. She's going to be sore, so we'll be making sure that she's got plenty of pain relief on board, that she's got plenty of padding around the pins and the leg. Can you grab me the bolt cutters, please?
Yep. Ooh.
A long journey for Rosie and Angus. To be honest, I think Rosie will probably cope with it better than Angus will, but we'll see.
Hi Angus, I'm Ros.
Hi, Ros.
Can I come through and see how Rosie's doing today?
Yeah, okay, that would be lovely.
Come with me.
Okay, thank you. Oh, wow, Rosie.
Hey Rosie, who's here?
Oh, Rosie.
So we just want to... She gets stuck, you just need to sort
Hello,
of move her little...
Oh, you sweet girl. I'm a bit spun out, to be honest with you. God, she's been through a lot. Oh, no. Sorry. I didn't expect to cry. I don't cry very often, so I'm sorry. Okay. You're handling this better than me, darling. That's. I bet you weren't last night, though. You're a good girl, Rosie. I kind of thought she might have forgotten me, but that little squeak she's just given me, that little that is something she does every morning when she meets me. So I think she does remember me, and I think she knows who I am, and that's pretty amazing for me that that's all happened in the space of about 3 weeks. You're a good girl. Oh, darling.
You're not a lightweight, Rosie. I've been doing too much for you. She's a great little patient, and she's lovely and great temperament, and she's a good candidate for this sort of surgery because she is so accepting. Here you go, Angus.
Hi.
Here's your girl.
Yeah, how are you?
Good.
How are you, Rosie?
She's doing all right.
Excellent.
She's got quite used to her little frames.
Yep.
Yeah, she's been doing a little bit of pottering around out the back.
I've made the right decision. On the day post-operatively, I wasn't so sure. I think that's why I cried, because I just thought, oh, what have I done? But today, no. I think I've made the right decision.
There you go, Chicken.
Okay.
I've got a little wrench here which you're going to have to take home with you. Oh, you're going to be a bit of a rig-a-wart, aren't you?
Now, I've got to go clockwise,
That's
so
right.
going this way. So
That's
I've got
right.
the one there, so
Yep.
if I just... 1,
Yeah.
2...
And you've got to make sure you're going the right way. Sounds a silly thing to say, but you don't want them getting worse.
Yeah, okay. I'm taking Rosie home, and this is now where I start to look after her. Okay, so...
Yep, just flip that down.
It is a big responsibility, and I'm not overwhelmed, but I am worried about, getting things right. Here we go. There you are, Rosie. Time to go home. There you are, Rosie. Good girl. There you are. Just sit. Yeah, we'll get you home, sweetheart. I'll just clean up that little wound a bit. Good girl. Good girl. I know they're sore, aren't they, mate? Sometimes I find myself smiling because she looks like she's got little, floaties on it. So, and that's the truth. It's just, it's really weird sometimes. Sometimes you feel very sad, and then sometimes you have to smile. Like that. Rosie, good girl. She's doing really well. She's eating, she's doing a little bit of walking, she's going out to the toilet. She'd managed to go up a full flight of stairs, so she's kept me busy. Okay, all done, Rosie. As each day goes by, I'm seeing a little bit of an improvement. I don't think she's in a lot of pain, so that's been a real relief for me too. I'm still having to sort of come to terms with the way it looks, but I'm focusing on the fact that these things are going to come off eventually, and she's going to have, hopefully, normal pain-free function. So that focusing on that makes it all worthwhile. Rosie. Rosie, come on. Good girl, come on. Good girl. That's lovely, Rosie. Rosie. Come on, Rose. What's important with Rosie is, she just loves life, and she just had this determination to live, and she really wanted to get on with life. Oh, that's fantastic though. I haven't seen her run like that. Rosie, oh, she's chasing birds. Okay, she could not have done that. Rosie, don't go and hurt yourself now. Good girl. And she's been so good for me. You gonna come in, Rosie? Come on, look. Well, there she goes. Rose. She helps me put the important things in life in perspective. Rose, come on. It's the simple things in life, Good girl, Rosie.
Bondi Junction Vet Hospital, this is Ali.
Ali, he's a vet student who he's living above a vet clinic.
Lovely. If you want to take a seat, it won't be too long.
You become a vet before your time because it's 24-hour day care. If there's an animal that is in intensive care, they've got to check on them all through the night, give them their medications and call us if there are any problems.
Oh, okay, lovely. I'll just go and speak to one of the vets.
This has been 24-hour care for Ali just to get Jupiter to this age. When he first came in, he was really, really sick.
Open up. Good boy. Someone found him. He's just a tiny little stray without a mummy. We think it's about 3.5 weeks. Full of worms. He has a bit of a cat flu. He's got something wrong with his eyes too, so yeah, he's on a few medications at the moment. He's missing a fair bit of fur and he's very underweight. Yeah, he was so lucky to be found. I don't know if he would have lasted another few hours out there, so I need a lot of TLC to get him back on track. Good boy. We've called him Jupiter because he looks like a bit of an alien.
For a kitten like Jupiter, being so young, being found at around 3 weeks of age, he'd only be able to survive maybe a day tops without any sort of care. So he's lucky that he actually made those little squeaks that someone heard and then they rushed him in here. If he just stayed quiet, he wouldn't be around.
There we go. Very smelly. Hey, sweetie. Good boy. You do look at them and just think they're so vulnerable. Like this kitten would still be with his mum, feeding every few hours, and he'd still have a whole litter of siblings and have all that attention all the time. Squeaky clean. Might give him a bit of a blow dry. It's all clean and fluffy. Actually, everyone in the clinic, bar me, thinks it's hideous, but I think it's perfect. So adorable. He is always looking for attention. So much energy. When I get up first thing in the morning, I start talking to him. He just purrs like mad. When he came in, he was just so lethargic and could barely even lift his little head. Now he's so unbelievably affectionate. He just purrs non-stop. He's so playful. Every single new person or toy he finds, he just wants to play non-stop.
Got a house call to go to, but it's not a big trip. In fact, it's not really a house call, it's more of a, actually don't need those, more of an in-house call. Ali? Ali, you here?
Yep.
Gonna charge you mileage for this, you know.
Thanks so much for coming.
That's all right. Hello, little man. How are you? Let's talked about cat pound for pound in Bondi, aren't you? How's he going?
He's good, doing really well. He's got so much energy.
He's got so much of this too. Look at that belly. You can see that he's got these little scabs over his skin there. I'd say he's going to have some bacterial and fungal infections there.
Okay.
So I think we need to keep up with the antibacterial, antifungal washes.
How often would you suggest I do them?
It's going to dry his skin out, but I would be thinking probably twice a week.
Okay.
We could try him with some vitamin E cream or some sort of moisturising cream just to try to keep the skin from drying out too much.
Okay, great.
So he put on a little bit of weight.
His belly's gone down a little bit, but he's gone from about 350 to 470, so he's doing really well.
Yeah, good. We're just going to give him a small dose of these antibiotics. There you go. A lot of kittens only have their eyes opening at around 2 weeks of age, so for him to come in at 3 weeks and meet Ali, who cares for him all night and all day, he's probably pretty entitled to think that Ali's mum.
He has made himself at home here. He knows the runs of the house. He's always racing around here at night time. I'm definitely falling for him. I don't know how easy it'll be to give him up when it comes time for adoption. I'd love to keep him.
I don't think it's very hard to see that Ali's become incredibly attached to Jupiter. I think when people hear Ali talking about Jupiter all the time, I think some people in the clinic think she's got some sort of obsession with astronomy now. You know, Jupiter, did you see Jupiter last night? How cute's Jupiter? I think Jupiter's bigger today. If you had to ask me whether Jupiter might become a permanent resident here, I'd say it's not so much a chance, it's more of a formality.
What are you doing in a gumboot, little man? Come here. So we've had him for probably nearly about 2 months now. He actually hasn't really grown at all. He might have put on about 100 grams. Come on. We did have another 2 little kittens that came in around the same time. They were not even half his size, and 1 month on, then probably more than twice the size of him now. Such a strange little kitten, but he's such a sweetie. He's like a wise little old man trapped in a kitten's body. He's amazing. I think he's perfect the way he is. Good boy.
At this age, he's about 3 or 4 weeks away from being adopted, so we could feasibly start talking about advertising for a new owner. It hasn't really happened.
Come on, Annie. Come on, come here.
I don't see any signs around the clinic saying kitten up for adoption. Do I think it's going to happen? No chance.
I'm just so in love with him. This little man has stolen my heart completely. It's probably nearing the time where I'd normally be put up for adoption, but he's my little man and there's no way I could ever let him go.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, good boy.
Hello.
Come on.
Hello. I'm Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
I was the one who looked after Danny Boy when he was on the ventilator. When he was
I
really
hate to
sick.
say we are back.
You're back. Danny's a golden retriever. Come on, Danny. He came here for the first time when he was 8 weeks old and was put on a ventilator for almost a week after being bitten by a tick. And we were so worried he wasn't going to make it. Come on. We don't want that happening again. Being on a ventilator is full of risks. The last time I saw him, he was like this, remember? I said,
He's 7 months.
I can't believe it.
Sit.
Sit, Danny.
Sit.
Oh, I love the lambs. They're absolutely adorable, and Danny's just gorgeous. Good boy.
He came in here when he was about 8 weeks old. He was bitten by a tick and almost died.
every day I was sort of nursing him by his bedside while he was on the ventilator, and then we got him off, and it was great when we sent him home. I just didn't expect to have him back so soon. Oh, you big boy.
He got something stuck in his throat. He picks up all sort of rubbish. He's trying to, you know, regurgitate it out and coon, and, you know, breathing is healthy, so we brought him in.
All right, I'll take him out the back, have a look in there, see what's there. Okay. Danny's got something stuck in his mouth, apparently, so I'll have a look inside and see what's there.
He had a feel, and he said it's something...
a long plastic.
He's breathing quite heavily. He's sort of making a bit of a huffy noise, but I really couldn't feel anything in there. So. If Mr. Lamb hadn't felt something stuck in Danny's throat, then I would be absolutely certain that he's got a paralysis tick. What's going on, mister? I think I'm just feeling his larynx there. Oh, sweetheart. I am worried about this noise he's making. I'm worried that he might have something almost partially obstructing his larynx. Come on. He's coughing, but it's not the normal cough that a dog does, like when they've got kennel cough. So we'll take an X-ray and just have a look if we can see anything abnormal there. Good boy. Danny's just a baby, and it's cruel that he has to go through something like this again. I have to take this just for their peace of mind, because they said they saw something in his mouth. Oh, it looks pretty good. It all looks pretty normal. I can't see anything stuck there. It's air moving all the way down, which is good. So, unfortunately for Danny, I think he's probably got a tick. And the fact that he lives in a tick area and he's had a tick before, it just all fits in. What a tick does is it paralyses parts of the body. So they have a toxin that they release into the bloodstream when they latch on, and that causes paralysis. And it can affect anything from the back legs to the upper airways to the breathing muscles. Potentially, one bite from a tick on a susceptible dog can cause death. Danny has deteriorated rapidly since he arrived. I mean, he's becoming more wobbly. He's lost his ability to swallow. Look at that, that's so different now.
Looks like a crater.
It does. And the fact that it's on his head and he's got these signs of gagging, it would all fit in. Hey, sweetie. All right. So I can't find anything in his mouth. We stuck our hand quite far down, there was nothing there. And so I took an X-ray of his larynx, and it all looks normal. So you won't believe what I'm going to tell you, but I think that he's probably got a tick again.
Again?
When I look at him now and he walks, he maybe is a little bit wobbly. He didn't want to go up the stairs before. No. And he's doing sort of this noise, and dogs that have tick paralysis can do that. So I think it's happened again. I just can't believe it, because the lambs went through absolute hell last time. We didn't even know if he was going to make it off the ventilator, and everybody just became so attached to him. He's just so gorgeous. And I'm worried that this is going to be a case of deja vu.
Did you search him?
I have had a look, but he's got quite a thick coat of hair now, so we're going to have to clip him and have a better look.
Okay. Oh, so ugly.
And then the next step would be to give him more of the anti-serum again. I think if we give him the anti-serum, then he's hopefully not going to get much worse than he is. So we're going to run the anti-serum in before we even look for more ticks, because I don't want him to deteriorate any more than he already has.
There we go.
The sedation has really kicked in quite nicely. We found anything? There's one. This is a tiny tick. I mean, they can get to 4 times the size of this easily, but it's Such a small thing can be deadly to a dog. Danny has had the worst possible experience from a tick. Last time, we didn't even know if he'd ever go home again, so his family would be shattered if that had to happen again. Oh, Danny boy. Hey, who's the sleepy one? At the moment, Danny boy is stable. We found one very tiny dead tick, and then we found a crater on his cheek where we think a tick was once feeding. We haven't found anything else. So we're going to give him a tick dip, and we'll keep on checking him throughout the night. It's a good bath. I just hope we've got it early enough that he doesn't have to go on a ventilator, because that would just be awful. Are you cold? You're talking? I'm just so worried about him. I'll see you tomorrow. You sleep well, Mr. Moo. Why don't you lie down? Want to lie down? Lie down, hon. No, I don't want to lie down. I really love Danny. He's one of my special patients. Last time he came here really severely affected, and he went home and it was great. We were all celebrating, and then he comes back regularly for cuddles. But we're not the only ones who love Danny. I think the ticks love him too. He must have very sweet blood. You're a good boy. You are. Hey, keep your bucket, keep your bucket. Let's see you walk. Oh, you're looking good. You're looking good, sweetheart. Come on. Come here. That's a good boy. Can you sit? Sit. Danny, sit. Good boy. All we have to do now for Danny is wait. So waiting for his body to metabolize any remaining toxin and for him to get his swallow reflex back. Once he can swallow normally, we can feed him, and if he's eating well and not regurgitating, then we can send him home. Let's check your gag. Not that great, buddy. And let's see if you can swallow. Stay there. Open up. Still not great. Tick paralysis can affect different dogs in different ways. His main problem was that he couldn't swallow. And if you can't swallow, then that means your food sort of just sits at the back of the throat, and there's the risk that you can inhale it, and that can cause a big infection in the lungs. Danny has had pneumonia before when he had tick paralysis, and it took him over 6 weeks to recover from that. That's great. Danny, you thirsty? A little drink, just a little drink. Says, no, I want food. Danny hasn't eaten anything or had anything to drink in over 48 hours, so the poor little guy must be starving, but I'm going to be cautious about it. He says, please, I'm really hungry. Oh, I'm starving. Look what I got. Look, Danny. Hang on. Get you to hold that. One ball, one at a time. Wait. No. Oh, you're starving. Okay, we've got to see if you can swallow it. That's it. You keep that down and you can go home.
Miss him very much. And I came in on Sunday, but he was very upset when I left.
Yes. You're going home. Wait.
He is not going to have any more hair. I'll shave it every week.
No, you're not.
Who's going home?
Yeah, short hair Labrador. Now, I have to put a sign up on his head when we go walking that he's a golden retriever. All right, okay. Yes, I miss you too.
Mrs. Lamb is absolutely besotted with Danny. Who wouldn't be? He's just the most gorgeous dog. He's so easygoing, he's so lovable, he's just adorable. He looks a bit like a Labrador, don't you think?
Don't ever say that.
Don't say that. No, we're just teasing. You're a golden retriever, aren't you? Hopefully he'll be back for a visit for cuddles. No more ticks, and they're under strict instructions to check him every day.
Bye.